You remember that little lodge on Route 110 of Sinnoh? Yeah, the cafe cabin, one of those cute little places you might miss if you're not careful. Well, it actually got a whole episode in the anime. A Maid episode. Yep, that's right, just in time to be 2 days late for Maid Day, let's chat about this episode. So while on their way to Veilstone City, the gang decides to stop by the Mountain Hut Maid Cafe at Brock's suggestion. Because of course he would. Honestly pretty interesting to see that this is in fact presented as a maid cafe even here in the English dub, but kinda cool nonetheless. In the video games, I never really got that kind of vibe from it, I think maybe because it just felt like a regular cafe, but the more I think about it and the more I look at what's going on here, yeah, I can't believe it is just a maid cafe. Anyway, back in the anime, we meet the three workers here, named Spring, Summer, and Autumn in the English dub. After getting acquainted, they head on over to get some fresh milk straight from the milk tank, just like how you could buy Moo Moo milk in the video game. You know, I realize now that it's weird that they sell Moo Moo milk at all, because Milk Tank isn't even in the Sinnoh regional decks. You can find them through the Poke Radar, but I think maybe the workers here brought over their milk tank or otherwise imported their milk. A bit odd, but I think that they did just genuinely have their milk tank from here because again, this is where you can find them, and the whole of Selassie town has this ranch vibe. Also, looking back at it in retrospect, it was no doubt meant as a tease for the upcoming Johto remakes. Either way, back again to the anime, for real this time. Autumn, the youngest maid, has a milk tank that's really sassy and doesn't want to cooperate, so Brock offers to help out. I really do love whenever we get to see Brock using his skills that he develops while practicing to become a Pokemon breeder and then later a doctor. It's honestly a great concept for the episode because while he initially came here to see some girls, he ends up actually helping out. It's just great how Brock is always so willing to help out when he sees the opportunity because it contributes to where he ends up going later in the series. While all that's happening, Dawn and Ash help out at the cafe. And yeah, they both wear the maid outfits. I guess they weren't expecting to hire a part-time butler. When some customers arrive, they're stereotypical otaku, it's hilarious. The big guy even has a Marina shirt that's being stretched to the absolute limit, I can't even. But it's a pretty cool piece of continuity because even though she only really appeared in Pokemon Chronicles, she would have cameos here and there confirming that she went on to become a top performing coordinator. But the two nerds weren't expecting to see Ash in the maid outfit, so they hightail it out of there. This leads us to the second subplot as Team Rocket decide to open up their own cafe, trying to make a quick buck. They actually have a butler uniform on hand because I mean they're masters of disguise. Though it's downright hilarious that those two nerds end up here as well, even getting ripped off with Team Rocket's watered down coffee, and that makes them realize that if they really want any customers, they're gonna need a milk tank for themselves. It's episodes like this that make me really appreciate just how well everything can be connected by the writers. Sure, this is a pretty goofy episode that feels like it only exists to show off the Maid Cafe trope with the characters, but there are definitely a lot of important pieces that make this a necessary episode. It is not just filler that you can skip, because after the big rush at the cafe, Ash and Dawn decide to try getting in some training for the upcoming gym battle and future contests respectively. And while Ash is trying to help Turtwig master Energy Ball, the important part is that there's more development for Dawn as she's taken in what Zoe had told her about her job as a coordinator, that being to allow the Pokemon to be the ones to shine. I feel like I don't mention it all too often, but throughout the whole series, I think they do a great job of balancing Ash's league progression, as well as Dawn's contest performances. In an episode like this that honestly already has a lot going on, it's cool that we get even more groundwork for her character. It isn't just that she fails at something early on and then suddenly gets better, she's constantly thinking about how she can improve, but mostly reflecting on her failures and even insecurities. She said she was going to do some training like Ash and Turtwig, but she ends up spending most of her time outside just thinking and talking with herself, and that's great. A character's success isn't brought about because they practiced and got physically better, it's because of changes that happen within themselves. Though like I said, this is a Brock episode first and foremost. Here and there we check in, as he guides Autumn to bond with her milk tank nicknamed Milta. While this one is the main plotline, it is also where we get some of the most comedy, as Autumn is a goofy clumsy girl and pairing up with a sassy Pokemon like Milta makes some great moments. But what I really appreciate is how Brock is understanding at every turn, and it's neat how he's using Happy Knee as an example because it's a Pokemon that needs affection later on for its final evolution, and is one that he hatched from an egg. And as they're out in the surrounding wilderness, Happy Knee protects them from some Beedrill and later assists in fighting off Team Rocket. So we discover that it's learned the move Secret Power. Like I said, stuff is happening in this episode, take notes. The climax arrives as Team Rocket attempt to steal Milta for their own, so it's up to Brock and Autumn to team up in a tag battle to fend them off, as expected. Though it's still a great idea, especially narratively. It's a way of solidifying the bond between Autumn and Milta as they spent the whole day working on that, while also further proving the bond that Brock and Happy Knee have. So then as they hook up Milta to the machine and gather some milk, the episode is just about wrapped up. There were also some moments here and there between Brock and Autumn, but it was mostly like a one-sided kind of crush from her. I think it's because she's younger that Brock wasn't all flirty with her and was actually able to focus, but I'm glad it wasn't brought much farther than that. Really becomes more of a friendly appreciation. The point is that everything gets brought together nicely in the end. I went into this episode thinking, ooh, haha, this will be a funny one to rewatch because of the timeliness, but I'm really surprised with just how good it is overall. I mean, I kind of already had that surprise back when I first watched it like a year or two ago, but even looking back, it's honestly great to see how this episode slots into the whole series and is able to highlight one of these small places in the video games in its own way while incorporating a lot of the best parts of the anime. That might just be the case because it's an episode from the Diamond and Pearl series, which is goated all around, but it was a fun time. So let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and also let me know if you'd like to see more videos like this. I try to talk about the anime when it's relevant for a larger video, but I really do enjoy looking back at individual episodes if there's something significant about them, or if I can tie them into something on the calendar, or whatever. Like I said, I meant for this to be out on Maid Day, but that didn't work out, so this just so happens to be going up on Mother's Day. None of you better read even deeper into that because that's just not the case. Anyway, I should really get back to my work on the ranch. Those cows ain't gonna milk themselves. Thank you to every channel member for your continued support, especially the great Gators. DeAndre, GigaWiiU64, Claude Singh, Waterloo Miz, Mazhar Siddiqui, Cosmo Zero, Justin Dowes, Mr. Saturn, Rainfrux, Cheez-It62, Swiss Cheese Shiny Hunter, Michael Snyder, Lockadox, Gallantry, GatorKid509, TF, Cheeseburger Lasers, Mathaclog947, No Man Nobi, Pastel Blood, Taijirai, Justin R, Phantom, and Quago. If you would like to support so your name here, get some access to emotes for comments, live streams, and sometimes early videos, you can become a channel member today. You can also follow me on Twitter as well for more memes. Anyway, this is GatorX, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all later.
神と呼ばれたポケモンを求めて任天堂 DS ポケットモンスターダイヤモンドとパール